Welcome to the RG DFS Tournament Takes podcast. I am your host, Chris Kirkwood. He's here, my boys. Bobby Gomes, fresh off of a big showdown win. Kid showdown over here. He started the season crushing showdown, and he's back to crushing it again. So congratulations, Bobby. Awesome lineup. And Noto, who's been crushing football all season. And we got him off of Mac Jones last week. So it was a tough slate, though, in general. But how we doing, boys? What's going on?
Doing good. Happy to get a win in the win column on Showdown, even if it was the most random lineup of all time. I think it was captain RB, double tight end, and a kicker. So I've just come to the conclusion Showdown's completely random, because what I did prior to the slate was I was rushing to get my stuff in. I wanted to lower Jalen Hurts captain and bump Saquon. So I did that, but I turned my rules off, and that team hit. And it somehow duped with everyone else. So other people are actually playing.
That wasn't a big enough dupe. 70K is fine. Is great. Like, who wouldn't dupe that all day for 70K?
I'm fine with duping it. What I'm saying is, I think it's to the point where I'm just leaving my rules off from now on. Like, I don't even care.
Whatever works. Congratulations. What's up, Noto? How you doing?
Yeah, big congrats to Bobby. You guys got me off Mac Jones. Unfortunately, I played Aaron Rodgers instead, so I think he ended up with fewer fantasy points than Mac Jones. So, week 10 was rough for me. Maybe I should focus more on Showdown like Bobby.
Yeah, I'm going to join you. I played Josh Allen, and that didn't go too well either. I nailed the 1% beautiful play. I played Calvin Ridley, and it made no difference. I wasn't even close to sniffing the cash line. It was a brutal.
If you don't mind me asking, what got you on Ridley? Because other people said it too, and I just totally missed him.
Completely low ownership. Wide receiver number one. Granted, not in the best passing environment, but still a wide receiver number one when like salary mattered with running back. So it was like, I think he was like 57 or 5,800 or something like that.
Yeah,
so basically,
stock range.
So I had nuke. So it was the base. I love that feeling I get when I make a lineup and I got like wide receiver one, wide receiver one, wide receiver one. Even if it is not in the best like game environment or the game, you never know. And he and I felt like he had a good chance to go off, and he did. So and he was 1 to 3% depending on like where you were on small field stuff. So that's all. It was just the way it worked out for me, but it didn't work out, so it made no difference. But we are back with 11 games this week to make a difference. I'm coming off of a free payday last night on Jake Paul, so I'm happy. Trying to count all that money. That was just a gift. So thank you all the Tyson slappies who kept driving the line down. 58 years old, just insane, and people bet on it.
I fell asleep at 8 o'clock, didn't watch the fight, and didn't bet on it, but I would have bet Tyson.
You would but that was because of your heart, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Because that's what everyone does. Everyone loves Tyson. We all have this like thing when he was like the baddest man on the planet, and like we all hate Jake Paul, right? Like so, that's why. But it was free money.
Was it a good fight?
No, and he could have knocked him out, but he had mercy on him. Like he didn't. He obviously held back because it was just like Tyson was just so pathetic.
Did it look good? Did he look good? Like, is he legit?
I mean, he's like semi legit. He's not fighting like he's like semi legit. He's like a legit boxer. He's not like a great boxer, but he's legit. He's getting better. Tyson, but this is a 58-year-old guy who has CTE. Right, like he definitely has CTE. He was a recovering drug addict. Like there's just no way he's going to be able to perform. It's 58 years old. You know what I mean? So it was.
He beat AIDS though. Did you see that? He beat AIDS.
No, I didn't see that. But
he didn't have AIDS. He just had sex with a woman and his friend, and they both had AIDS. And then
I mean, the press conferences back in the day were insane when he was like, I'll something till you love me, you know, like like he was just go back and watch some of his like press conferences or before fights. He just was an animal. bit the ear. It's just an animal, whatever. Brings back all the nostalgia, but it was.
I always think of that guy from Medfield.
I don't.
I
know who you're talking about. The guy who fought him.
Yeah,
I know exactly who you're talking about. He's Irish, obviously. McBride or something. Mick something.
Yeah. Danny McBride, maybe? No, I don't know.
No, that's.
No,
I love him too. Righteous Gemstones.
He's hilarious.
Kenny Powers. And maybe Kenny Powers could have taken Tyson down. Anyway, we got football to talk about. And we also got Splash Sports. By now, you've heard us all relentlessly talk about Splash Sports, but that's because we are all playing Splash Sports. They're one of the fastest growing peer-to-peer gaming platforms in the U.S. and Canada. We've got an exclusive offer for those who sign up and try their newest Quick Picks game. It's like a lot of the DFS pick'em leagues and games that are out there, where you build an entry of 2, 3, or 4 picks, take more or less, and then receive a payout of 3x, 6x, or 12x, depending on how many you get right. From now through November 17th, new users sign up using promo code ROTO10 with 20% of all Quick Pick entry fees in November. You will receive back as playable bonuses on December 1st. Bonus max is 1,000. So this is one of the most significant rake back offers we've seen in DFS in a while. Only available for those using promo code ROTO10. I'm just going to pump everything out. We got RG Combo Plug, DFS all about value. This is the busiest time in the sports calendar year, which means that the perfect time to sign up for RG Combo. For a limited time, get your first month of combo access for $79.99, which is $5 more than NBA Premium. Don't pass up on this great value. Get in there, start playing. And then obviously we got the Listener League, which I bombed our team last week. I changed it to my own team, and I just bombed it.
Bro.
Yeah, my bad on that. Hand up, it's on me. Sorry about that, fellas.
Was our team decent? I don't even remember.
I'm assuming no, but I have no idea.
Making these executive decisions on these Listener League teams, I will say.
All right.
No.
Well, the slate. So we make a team, and then the whole slate changes every day on Saturday, like Saturday night. Like something happens, and so then I just go, and you guys are nowhere to be found. Noto's at the club with his boy, rocking with the frosted tips. Bobby's just too busy, and
I'm sleeping.
He's trying to raise 2 kids and build his rules at the same, and he's got to run Sims, and then it's just me. So it's tough. But anyway, get in the RG Listener League. It's in the description. If you win, get yourself a month of RG Combo Premium, and you get the fun of beating all of us and sticking it to us. So anyways, here we go. We're back for 11 games. We've got it's kind of a gross slate, if you ask me. Like, it's really hard to build. We've got like good running back plays, and I don't know about anything else. But big picture overview, Noto, how you feeling about this one?
Yeah, it's one of those weeks where I feel great about the running backs, and then the rest of the positions you're kind of just filling out around the running backs. I like a lot of the cheap quarterbacks. Don't like a lot of the cheap receivers. We'll talk about Booty and his 20% ownership. I don't know how you guys feel about that. But yeah, I think it's a fun slate. I like it a little bit more than last week. Even on Sunday morning, I just didn't feel good at any point last week. So hoping this week will be a little bit better.
Bobby, how you feeling? I know you're on a little bit of a buzz from the win, so you're probably feeling optimistic here. How's this?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. In terms of, it seems like it's a strong running back slate. I think this Pittsburgh-Baltimore game is going to go overlooked relative to what I'm seeing around the industry on ownership. It might tick up because I feel like people are going to be talking about this game as
highest total.
Yeah, highest total and very little owner. Like I really like Lamar Jackson. So I don't know. We'll talk through everything, and we'll see where you guys are at.
Yep. Yes, we will. All right. So let's do just a quick rundown. I only wrote down 3 games with totals that were like remotely playable from like an exciting feeling. Ravens -3 at Pitt is 48.5 point total. The leader of the pack, Seattle at San Francisco. 49ers 6.5 point favorites, 48 point total. And then Jacksonville at Detroit. Detroit's 13.5 point favorite because they are facing Mac Jones again, and a 47 point total. And then everything is kind of a low total game from there. We've got some high team totals and we've got some low team totals. But so we'll do what we always do. We'll go over to Thorman snaps and pace quickly, looking for a higher pace game. We'll reference that with the blitz most plays, and then we will start talking about position by position. So Thorman snaps and pace. The high pace game is Baltimore at Pittsburgh, and one Bobby was drawn to with the highest total makes sense. Atlanta at Denver. I like that game. We'll get into, and then Cleveland at New Orleans. And then if you go over to the blitz most plays, Cardi's going to have a game in New Orleans as number one most plays, Cleveland at New Orleans, Atlanta at Denver, and Green Bay at Chicago. So those are the games. And then we have chalk. Basically, it's going to be chalk running backs, good plays at running backs, good high end at running backs. Quarterbacks, we're going to probably be all over the place, if I'm guessing. And then wide receiver is going to be where we're going to try to avoid some landmines here. So we'll break it down. Let's do it like we always do and start at the running back position. Then we'll take it over to QBs, pair that with our wide receivers, talk tight ends, talk defense, maybe talk a little UFC, stacks, all that. Have a little fun. Chat, ask questions. We'll try to get to them. People are demanding they want Costco stories. I'll try to think of some. But all right, running back. This is where we've got some chalk here, some good plays. So right off the bat, the two high-end guys. So McCaffrey, 8,300 against Seattle. Great matchup, home favorite. Usage was fine. We kind of thought that we were low. We said like 15 to 20. We said like around, we probably thought 15 touches. I was thinking maybe potentially more. He ended up getting 20. Nice thing is he got 7 targets, 6 receptions, 68 yards. He did not find the end zone. He was kind of a disappointment at 16 fantasy points, but the usage was good, and he didn't look very explosive. But we'll see this week. It's another week. He was out for a few months. So he's top play coming in from ownership perspective. Kamara, who didn't do much last week either at the high price, but 17 attempts, certainly had the touches, 17 and 6 targets, 5 receptions. So did not find the end zone either. He's going to be, and then Duan Achan, great role. He's taken over now. I think it was like 70% of the snaps now. So it's his backfield. He's the electric back. He's great in the passing game. So those are the 3. And then we get to guys like Breece Hall on that. Just, man, nobody has cost me more money gambling wise than the New York Jets over my lifetime. I keep going back for punishment and they keep delivering. But Breece Hall is going to be there. Gibbs, Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker. We're going to have to talk about Estime, who's appeared. This is where it gets a little interesting because he's 4,500, but you're not going to get any receiving game out of him. It's strictly running, but he's taken over the backfield. They're talking about even more touches this week. He had 14 rushes last week. So who do you like, Noto? Who are the key personnel for you this week?
Yeah, hard to get away from the chalk. You mentioned McCaffrey played on 56 of the 62 running back snaps, which is pretty wild. I did not expect that in his first game back. I think the Niners are going to roll. They always play well against the Seahawks at home too. Kamara with 58 opportunities the last 2 games, just incredible. Still no Jamal Williams, still no Kendry Miller. So he's going to have a big workload once again. And I kind of like, the passing game on the opposite side of that with Jameis, which we'll get to. So Kamara makes a lot of sense for me. HN, obviously averaging over 20 fantasy points per game with Tua under center. In terms of the lower-owned guys, don't mind looking to Ramondre Stevenson at 6,100. He's at least 20 carries in 3 of the last 4. I don't know. Nobody's going to play Bijan. This is like the first low-owned Bijan spot we've gotten in a while. Not the best matchup, but he's the guy that's going to get all the passing work. So if you think Denver's going to play well here, I think Bijan is solid. And Kirk, right there with you on Breece Hall. He should smash here, but can we trust anyone on the Jets? I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers stinks. He's just too old. You know what it is? It's like these old immobile quarterbacks, like Tom Brady. Like the only one that ever had that successful model was like Tom Brady, and he's not walking through that door anymore. Like it's like I don't know, but what do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, I think the chalk is pretty good chalk with Kamara, CMC, and Achane up top. McCaffrey has just destroyed Seattle in the past. We're seeing Kamara being worked into that offense a ton. Like he is the vocal point, so I'm fine with him. Kirk hit on that Achane's pretty much been the guy. He's basically upseated Mostert, and he's getting the majority of the carries. The one I do have the issue with is Brees, just because DeForest Buckner is back on that Indy O-line. Their defense seems better just all around with him in it. So he would be the one that I'd be interested in trying to get away from. I like the Ramondre Stevenson call. Definitely think he's good with the 20 touches, with seeing the usage that he's seeing. Aaron Jones versus Tennessee, like how you can attack Tennessee is on the ground. They're tough through the air to beat. So I don't mind Aaron Jones. He'd be my tournament back that I'd be interested in. I think Josh Jacobs also makes a good bit of sense. Just looking, that game environment's terrible. But in bad game environments, I'm not really worried about the running back, so I can get over on some Jacobs. Outside of that, it's not really much. Like Derrick Henry and Najee would be the two that I'm going to have in my player pool that I would imagine are going to be low owned, but they're in that up and pace game with the high total. And like, I'm at the point where I'm just fine playing Henry, even if he's with Lamar, especially with their team total. Like, whatever. Najee's been a lot better than he has been previously. I didn't even think he should be in the league, but he's gone to the point where he's been viable. So fine with him as well.
All right, I got one. Chiefs. They're on the slate, right? Are they?
Yeah, they're playing Buffalo.
Yeah.
You want
Best matchup. Kareem Hunt. Usage has been really solid for him. Didn't get any touchdowns last game in a tougher matchup, but he had 14 rushes. He had 10 targets. 10 targets from Patrick Mahomes is worth a lot. And especially in this matchup and against the Bills, where they're going for their undefeated, season still. So I like him a lot as like kind of a lower owned guy, pivot off of some of these guys. I also like, did you guys mention David Montgomery at all?
I want to bring up both the Lions guys, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. But if there's ever a game for Montgomery, it's when they're favored by 13.5 points against the Jags here. So I certainly like that. Those are the two guys that I'm thinking of. But other than that, I love the Bijan call. I think that's really could be a really solid play. Not the greatest matchup, but I think this game, obviously this is one of the key games. Both of the guys had it in the most plays. I think it could be competitive, and two offenses that could really get going. I think Bo Nix is getting better, and Cortland Sutton is a guy I like at wide receiver. So in a pairback, so I like that. Does TJ have any takes, or does he want to sit this one out?
TJ.
Yeah, I can pop in. I'm going to try and have a pretty tight running back pool this week. My pool in general is tighter than the last few weeks. Like, as we swapped to QBs last week, in the last 3 weeks, I've had a huge QB pool just because I couldn't narrow it down. And luckily, that's not the case this week. I feel like for all of the positions, I've managed to get a pretty tight pool, and I'm going to be focusing on, like, Devon Achane is number one for me. I'm probably going to have him in every lineup that I play. Ian, I'm going to want to play some Tua stacks too. I'm going to leave him in there. But McCaffrey, Kamara, Achane are my top three priorities. Kenneth Walker, probably number 4 for me. Last time he played San Francisco, he just caught a ton of passes. Projects really well in the blitz. I like Kenneth Walker in this spot. And then the only other guys I think I really want to take shots on are David Montgomery, who we just talked about. Maybe Gibbs, but I just like the salary saving for Montgomery more.
And it's the game script, right? I just
kind of feel like they might just pound the ball down Jacksonville's throat, and each of these guys might have 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. And then I'll probably take some shots on Estime.
Yeah. The thing, only worry with the center for the someone mentioned in the chat, and it's true. The Seattle center just retired, so little offensive line is going to be a little different.
What about Karen Williams?
Yeah, of course. And he just hasn't scored touchdowns lately, so like people are less high on him, and also New England. Who was it that burned everybody? Swift last week. I mean, man, the Bears are a train wreck, huh?
Yeah.
Kyron, or however you say his name, we're gonna get killed in the comments again. I think he will kill New England.
Kyron Williams and Bijan Robinson are the two guys I'm not currently playing that I'm second guessing myself and thinking I probably should play a little.
Kyron's the type of back that just gives the Patriots fits.
But the only negative with Kyron is that they're like more healthy and they have the to do it through the air. But it's colder out in New England. It should be a running spot.
It's freezing here, by the way.
Yeah,
colder than the word.
He's playing like 88% of snaps. I think it's like 12% higher than.
I love it. Like for GPPs, like everyone's gonna be wanting to fit into McCaffrey and Kamara. Like I love as you guys all like the HN, like because I think he can go toe to toe with any of them. And then I love like playing Kyron as a pivot there. Like that's Kenneth Walker, like TJ said, it saves you some money. That's the way. That's the easiest path against the 49ers defense. And you know he's a beast who hasn't who people might be down on after 2 bad games. You know, so
2 other guys I want to bring up. Jonathan Taylor. I mean, the best way to move the ball against the Jets is on the ground, and you know with Richardson back under center, Taylor could get 25 touches in this one if it's close. And then Nick Chubb over on FanDuel, he's only 6,200. So if you are playing over there where touchdowns matter more than receptions, I don't mind him as a punt.
People are talking about Cardi's buttons and buttoning up his shirt in the chat. I want
I like the chest salad personally.
You like what?
The chest salad.
Yeah, a little lettuce.
Little lettuce. Yeah.
Bobby walks around the North End, airing it out a lot.
Bobby and Cardi are in the same house right now, so we better be careful.
So that used to be my crib.
Yeah, now they're staying there together. So we got.
Yeah, I rented it out. I rented it out.
Out of the.
Cardi is not staying in the house with me. No one. I wouldn't allow anyone to stay.
I used to play that piano, tickle the ivories a little bit. It was nice.
Whose house is this? Like, where do they get this picture on Apple Images? Whose actual house is this? I'd love to know.
I don't know, but all right. What about anyone else, Bobby?
Did you guys like Taylor at all? I probably won't.
Yeah, I always like Taylor. I mean, and the Jets are like the biggest fraud defense. Anyone can run on them.
Yeah,
I like Taylor. I think that's a good call for sure.
Yep. But I'm telling you, man, Kareem the Dream. This is the week.
It's probably his last week as a starter, right?
Yeah. I mean, who knows how Pacheco's going to look when he comes, we'll see how that comes out. But
yeah, Chase Brown on FanDuel too, if you're playing he's 6,800 on the Sunday night game. Somebody mentioned that in chat.
All right. Let's talk about some QBs here. Brock Purdy crushed this chalk last week. I switched off him last minute and over to Josh Allen. I ruined a good lineup, is what I did. But Drake May, I actually think Drake May is a solid play this week against the Rams D. So I'll be interested because you can save some money, you get a little bit of rushing upside. And New England may be forced to air it out a little more in this one. Jameis Winston these are the cheap guys from ownership, and then Geno is cheap. That's the theme. Anyone who's getting ownership is all the cheap guys here because of how tight the pricing is. It's quarterbacks. We're doing. People are going to play Aaron Rodgers again at 5,500. Love to hear your guys' takes on that. Russell Wilson against. I mean, he should be at the top in my opinion because of the way the way the Baltimore defense is. Like they're going to have to air it out in this one. I know they want to feed the running backs, but it's not going to be the angle. this week. So I think Russell Wilson is a good play. But where are you looking? Bobby, I'll let you start.
I'm going right to the game that you just talked about. Baltimore and the Steelers. I like Russ. Think he's fine. Baltimore's pass defense has been atrocious. Don't mind targeting him, getting to Pickens, stacking him with Pickens. And on the other side, Lamar. It's basically flipping the build, right? We just said everyone's paying down at quarterback. I'm going to pay up at quarterback, get to Lamar at 8K. Might get some Mahomes in there versus Josh Allen and the Bills. That should be a very good football game. I'm going to say lock of the week, the Bills win that game.
Oh, wow.
I like
I
that
think
too.
the Bills win that game.
Bobby coming in hot with the sports betting.
Yeah, I don't sports bet, but I would bet the Bills I guess this is sports betting. So I'm going to go back to Aaron Rodgers on the low end. Fine versus Indy. I did mention the Indy defense has been better with DeForest Buckner being back. I'll chase the flop lag with Rodgers if everyone's going to play all these other quarterbacks in that salary range and no one's going to play Rodgers. He has the best weapon, so why not? Jameis is going to be chalky. I think it's probably good chalk. Narrative Street. This is New Orleans is a revenge game, so to speak, for Jameis. Fine with Jameis. I think that's pretty much it. Those are my 4 favorites. I might play Purdy chalk and stuff, but I don't love it. Bo Nix I'll play as well, but I think I'm going to be overweight on the other guys. Yeah, I'll probably play those 2 just at the field.
Can we play Tua?
Yeah, you can play Tua.
I mean, it's good. It's a good matchup for the QB and the running back.
Their team total's high too, right? It's the second highest in the slate.
Yeah.
So I know Tyreek's got the busted hand. He did score, but we haven't seen any big plays from him. But
I was worried he was a decoy halfway through that game. That was pretty.
I mean, you're just not getting the deep shot. I don't know if he is going to have trouble pulling in the deep shot, but because of his hand. But and then he got hurt. He hurt himself on the celebration. Did you hear about that when he hurt his back because he whatever the celebration they were doing
With Odell.
Yeah.
Has Odell done anything? Is he relevant?
No.
I saw him get a first down. He was pretty
Yeah,
happy.
that was he was like a showdown, possibly relevant in a showdown. But no, not really. Yeah, I don't know what else. I'm trying to look here. I love the Lamar. I mean, Lamar is the cheat code, and if the game breaks loose, he's the guy. You're gonna want him. And we did lay some paths to some cheaper running backs that get you can make that happen. So I'm on board, Bobby.
TJ mentioned Richardson, who I think you definitely have to consider in tournaments.
I've tried him so many times.
My issue is if you do the deep dive, he stinks.
Electric?
He's not electric.
He's not electric.
He is
electric, but he's not electric.
He's electric, but he stinks. Okay, here's a Galaxy brain play for you. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions last week. Perfect get-right spot at home against the worst pass defense. We know Dan Campbell doesn't mind keeping his foot on the gas. Do they just let Goff throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns?
Maybe. Yeah, I think I could see that. I mean, D-Man, he was so bad. That game was crazy.
I know. Get that
I
confidence
don't think
back up.
I think it's just an off day. Everyone has an off day, right?
That game was you get an interception, you get an interception. Yeah, I could see that, but I'm playing Monty, so
Yeah.
I don't mind Jameson Williams versus man coverage in that match.
JMO. Plus, he's juiced up. People forget that he literally just got popped a few weeks ago for
these guys should do if they can get away with it, they should be probably trying to do it.
Well, I think they all are probably.
I think they all are. Yeah, he just got caught.
Yeah. All right. It's it's spread out all over the place. Who are we to tell you if there's anyone's a bad play here at quarter? I mean, it's literally all these guys.
It's all random. I've come to the conclusion. It's just
these guys. It's like best ball.
I've taken Blender's approach. Play wherever you want.
Well, just
I did
leverage
2
ownership.
shows with them and I'm on it.
Nice. All right. Wide receiver. This is where it gets real interesting. We have entered week 11 is Keyshawn Booty chalk week, where he's 20% plus owned, depending on where you're looking. And he's 3,500. And he's Keyshawn Booty. I guess he has some talent in there. It's just the Patriots, their passing game stinks. But I mean, if he can get like 10 points, probably fine on a week like this. But there's a very low floor here for sure. He did get, he caught 4 of 6 targets against Chicago. Chicago's a mess. The Rams D is kind of a mess too. They're getting a little better, but and a little healthier. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to hear what you guys think on there. The mid range is where people are going to be paying because they need to because they're trying to fit the wide receiver. I mean the running backs, Kamara and CMC. So like guys like Jacoby Myers, who I do like, 5,600. I'm always on board with Jacoby Myers. Cedric Tillman, in that game that both guys have is up in pace. Cleveland at New Orleans. Let's see here. I like Cortland Sutton a lot at 5,900. He's like my Calvin Ridley play of this week. That's like the same play to me type of thing. DeAndre Hopkins, I like again at 5,700. People are a little upset at what he didn't do much last week, but this game could break out and go off this Chiefs Bills. Amon-Ra, if you guys follow that Noto's narrative, Goff let Goff rip in this one. Amon-Ra will probably be the one to be catching touchdowns. So 8K there, I could see paying up for that. But I don't know. Put me on the right path here, Noto.
Yeah, if I am going the Lions, I think I'm going to go J-Mo over Amon-Ra because he can get there in a couple big plays. Amon-Ra is probably going to need 8 to 10 receptions to get there, just given his route tree. But yeah, I really like Cortland Sutton, like you mentioned. Everyone's worried about AJ Terrell, but if you look at how he's played this season, he's been pretty terrible. Wide receiver ones have had a really good season against the Falcons. I love Cedric Tillman, 32 targets over the last 3 games since the Amari Cooper trade. Indoors, all that good stuff. Juwan Jennings is kind of just playing the Brandon Ayuk role, so I think he's an interesting play at 5,300. I think you can play Booty. I don't know. He feels like bad chalk because of his floor, but he's been on the field a ton. He's been on 86% of dropbacks the last 3 games, 42% of the team's air yards. If he catches a long touchdown, I mean, you're just going to be kicking yourself if you don't have him. So I don't know. I think he's fine. Not a guy that I think is a must in tournaments, but for cash and stuff, I think you'd probably just want to play him and be on the safer side of things. And then love George Pickens. Ever since Russell Wilson's been under center, he's had over a 40% air yard share, 35% first read rate. We talked about Baltimore being best against the run, worst against the pass. So I like him a lot this week too.
Wow. Booty is cheeks, says J3. Bobby, what are you thinking?
I like to preface this first by saying I love the booty, but I am going to be fading Keyshawn Booty this week because they have like 5 different receivers that they utilize in that offense for whatever reason. And they want to run the ball all the time. And then they use Hunter Henry. So it's like, I don't know, man. It seems like bad chalk, especially if he's going to be 20% or higher. So I think I'm going to be off the Booty.
Henry's the guy. I like that.
If I was playing Booty, I'd probably play him with Kyron. Must be correlation there, and then you're getting a low-owned piece along with Booty. Jacoby Myers versus Miami, he's the one that I think is probably my favorite in terms of the guy that I think is seeing high ownership. He's just getting a ton of targets in that offense, especially now that Devontae's gone. So I think he's my favorite chalk piece, followed by Tillman with the Browns. The issue with Tillman is there's other mouths to feed there too. Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy, etc. Njoku. just thinking off the top of my head. So I think Myers is the standout for me. Booty's probably the X, and Tillman I'll probably be at the field on. Juwan Jennings, I think, is a really good play, as well as someone who I would imagine is going to be somewhat chalky. Could throw him I'd probably like him a little bit more than Tillman. Just seems like Purdy likes to go to Jennings for whatever reason, so I think he's fine. Outside of that, George Pickens in that same game that I keep peppering, Baltimore and Miami, I want to be over on George Pickens. He's a good player. Russ throws a really good deep ball, and it's definitely attributed to the success that Pickens has had recently. We're going to get Drake London actually, never mind. No Drake London. He's getting Surtain.
He's about 40% slot guy. So
so wait a minute. We could consider London, and he's going to be low owned
for the first time all season.
And I like that game.
Yeah, I like London. If that's the case, I like London. Scratch that. We're playing some London. Devontae Adams, we all expected it last week. It'll probably happen this week, so not missing out on that. Garrett Wilson, I know we're talking Jets, and they haven't done us great, but 7,100. Like, actually, I think I prefer Garrett Wilson at his tag to Adam. Oh, Adam's only 7,200.
I mean, they're just not on the. He and Adams just aren't on the same page yet. Like, I don't know who's the fault there. I mean, if you ask Aaron Rodgers the way he looks like when he's complaining, it's never his fault. But
to be fair, Adams had like an expected fantasy points of 26.4 or something last week, and he scored like 9. So I think a lot of that's on Devontae.
Yeah. He missed him in the end zone for what it's worth in like the first quarter. I think I might actually lean Wilson based on like the usage and the fact that for whatever reason Wilson's chemistry seems to be better with Adams, but I like both receivers. Puka versus New England. I think he's another one that might go overlooked, and I'd like to get him as well.
Who's Gonzalez going to be on?
I don't know. Puka just seems like another guy that can hurt the Patriots pretty.
Yeah,
well.
I agree. I like if they're all over Cooper Kupp, it feels like Puka could just.
But if he sees, I can check for you. I don't mind. I'm fine with that. Surtain's the one that I avoid like the plague for whatever reason.
Are you playing Zay Flowers with Lamar?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of their pass rushers is out too, so it might give Lamar more time back there.
Yeah, Highsmith's out, and then Porter hasn't been nearly as good the last couple weeks.
How are we not just shoving all in on Pickens?
Pickens seems like Pickens was a really good play last week. I like.
Now he gets Baltimore's defense.
Yeah, that's what I said at the top. I was like, Pickens.
Yeah, I think we just freaking jam him.
Can we put him on our team for?
Yeah, he's in. He's in this. I'll make the executive decision, and I'll say he's in. Bobby, thank you.
Okay, good pick. Let me check who Puka would get. Oh, sorry about this.
We can go right back to Calvin Ridley too. 6,200 isn't a jump big enough for. He's actually leading. He's up there at the top for air yards share and first read targets.
Puka would see Christian Gonzalez, but it's a positive matchup, so I'm fine with Puka.
Well, maybe it's Kupp then. All right.
Kupp's is positive too. I think it's Marcus Jones. Yeah, Marcus Jones.
Are there any pivots off of Booty under 4K that you guys like? Or do you just different roster construction?
Like a different type of Booty is what you're talking about?
No, is there anyone else you would play under 4K? Like there's nobody.
Yeah, it's not great. Maybe Calvin Austin.
I was literally just gonna pop in and say if I was playing a Russell Wilson team, I would consider playing Calvin Austin with them in addition to Pickens.
Calvin Austin's good. Yeah, I like Calvin Austin. He's 3.6 too. I think Calvin Austin's a much better play than Booty. I would just flip that. Don't even pay attention to ownership. Just play Calvin Austin over Booty. 100 more.
Let's see. Yeah, there's no cheap. Oh, Doomsday.
What about JMO? He mentioned God. Noto mentioned God. Like, I like JMO.
Yeah, because he can get there in 3 plays,
Yeah. He's 5'8" too. Like, you're not killing yourself to play him.
He can get there in 1 play. In reality.
Just 1 for 199.
Hopefully he juices up before the game.
No, I mean, dude, you just gotta hope he's still reaping the benefits of it. No, he looked good in the last game, so you can always play him. It looks like, I mean, there's just no one else. It looks like basically like Elijah Moore is like the next closest like playable receiver, but like I mean, yeah, it's right.
You want me to do a deep dive on Elijah Moore for you?
No, I don't. I mean, yes, go ahead if you have it ready.
Yeah, he stinks.
Yeah, thank you.
Not electric. Who's your guys' favorite Niners receiver? Is it Jennings?
I think it's Jennings, yeah. I think Jennings is easily my favorite. Jennings is chalk, and just play it, just get it in there.
Kittle's banged up too. There's like a real chance he doesn't play. I think, but I think he's like probably going to play, but there's a chance he's not going to. Yeah, limited Thursday and Friday.
This show to me feels like those midnight shows that we used to do. Like the 8 p.m. on Fridays where it's my bedtime.
A little tired today. I was up late watching. The thing that you're lucky you didn't get that was just tilting was Netflix. They couldn't handle all the traffic, so it was like complete buffering all night.
I seen some good memes with Mike Tyson. It was like,
oh no, that was a really shown on Netflix. He turned around after an interview and he was that was what it was shown.
We apologize for streaming.
Yeah, the only guy I know who dresses like that is Chop, but the only other guy.
I feel like Chop and Tyson are probably from the same era.
Yeah, they're the same age, I think.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right.
Chop might be one of the people that looks older than he actually is, though.
Or he could look younger than he actually is.
Yeah.
TJ, what do you got?
If you asked him, he would say that.
What plays? Come in here with the Thunder.
Yeah, come in here with the gas, TJ.
I don't have anything much new to say. You guys nailed all of my favorite plays. Tillman, Jennings, Myers, and Sutton are going to be the guys I want to get to the most in that 5 to 6K tier. I will play some Elijah Moore just because I'm going to play a ton of Winston. He's 4,300. He's gotten 21 targets in his last 2 games since Winston's been starting. So I'll play him. I don't feel good about it, but we got almost no value. It's kind of one of those things where it's like when I'm looking and I need somebody in the 45-ish 100 tier, do I play Estime? Do I play Elijah Moore? Like nobody feels. Do I play Bateman? Do I play Valdez Scantling? Nobody feels really good in that tier.
Oh man, I almost played MVS, and it's just like it feels like it was just against me. Like the slate, it was like I had him in my lineup because he fit perfectly, and then I was like, no, I can't play him, so I changed it, and then he just nuked.
I'll play Tyreek Hill as well.
I couldn't even imagine playing him. When I seen him going off, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't feel bad at all. I
didn't feel bad that I had 0.
And I also in that lineup, and it was also White, the Tampa Bay running back. Like I was like, can I play him? Like I had a stack of that game, and like he was like the bring back. It would have been the lineup was going to be fire, but I messed it all up. Story of my life. I had it, Mom and Dad. I had it. All right. Let's go over to tight end. Oh, someone's asked in chat whether I think they can play Hunt and Hopkins in the same lineup. I actually think you can because Hopkins is cheap at 5,700. I would definitely make sure you have at least one bring back on Buffalo. And you could use Patrick Mahomes, and you don't even have to use Patrick Mahomes. But I think Hopkins' price is cheap enough to be able to pull something off like that. And if as long as Kelsey's not going off, then you're probably in good shape with both of those two. All right, tight ends. We're just going from Booty over to
Booty
the
to tight end. Yeah, I was trying
Yeah.
to make a joke in my head.
Hunter Henry is going to be. I like Hunter Henry. I mean, he is obviously has a connection. He busted hard last week against Chicago, but we're talking like before that, like 9-8 range of targets. So I certainly think they're going to need him against the Rams. I think they could be forced to pass more in this game. So the cheap one is Davis Allen. I played him in Showdown, and he got eight fantasy points or something like that. But he is the number one now on the other side in that game. Parkinson, he has taken over the lead tight end one role, and he's only 2,500 for the Rams. So that's a way for some salary savings. Travis Kelce is going to be the higher end guy that everyone likes. Dawson Knox, it's going to be like he's right there. It's Davis Allen, 2,500 up to 3,500 is Dawson Knox without Kincaid, and then there's Hunter Henry at 3,900. Jonnu Smith, 3,800 is in play, and then another high end guy, Brock Bowers. He's always in play, 5,800. If this game stays close, Brock Bowers is going to get a ton of targets. Who is your favorite, Bobby?
I'm going to go Davis Allen. I just think Davis Allen, even if he's going to be chalky at 2,500, he just took Parkinson's job. I've always liked Davis Allen. So at that price, I think you can make up. You can get 8 again. Why not? We might need more than 8, but he is 25.
8's fine for 2,500.
So yeah, I'm fine with Davis Allen. I'm never playing Dawson Knox again in my life.
No,
Terrible.
He's got a great end zone role, like a red zone role.
All right, so maybe I can play him.
Chiefs are booty against tight end too.
Yeah.
He just irks me a ton. I like Njoku as like a pivot off the receivers. Like I wouldn't mind getting more Njoku than I would ever play Tillman or Elijah Moore.
Man, I can't stop that. I mean, last week Noto kept talking about the shower and like flipping towels in the shower.
With?
This week he's talking booty a lot now, so it's.
There's nothing wrong with booty, my friends. There's nothing wrong with booty.
Did the shower narrative work? I don't even remember who it was about.
I don't remember.
It did not work. It was with Sterling Shepard and Baker Mayfield, and it did not.
Yeah, I think he had one catch.
Did one catch, yeah.
Well, that was a material change because McMillan ended up playing. We were hoping he'd be out. I think was the narrative, the case there. So yeah, material change, not our fault.
We'll go with that.
I like Mark Andrews and Likely. One of them's going to chip, though, right? For TJ Watt, I would imagine. Probably more likely to be Andrews. More likely, no pun intended.
Yeah. And Likely doesn't block much.
And Likely doesn't block much. So I think that brings Likely like more into the fray. So we can play some Likely, I guess. What about Tucker Kraft? When's Tucker Kraft going to get back going?
The guy was the best tight end in football for a couple weeks, looked like.
There's just so many guys in that offense. I wish he was cheaper.
Oh, who? So with Laporte out, who on the Lions?
We got Brock Wright and
Zylstra.
I would much rather play Davis Allen than Brock Wright, even as chalk. Is Brock Wright good, Noto?
Not that I know of. Not electric. That's for sure.
Oh, and Tyson. Guy could have nuked the slate. What was it like?
Holding call.
Holding was ridiculous, stupid.
Behind where he was already, so no need for it.
That was what 85 yarder or something to the house.
Yeah, and then Kamara dropped a 60 yarder.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the drop for Kamara. I heard about the Hill one. How did Kamara drop that? I'm not gonna go there, but I think I could have caught it.
I mean, Yeah, because that wasn't even like a dart. It was just a
It's like hanging up there.
soft thrown ball. Yeah.
Over the shoulder, my specialty over the shoulder.
And you got the speed to blow off the cover off of the defenses too. So
If Jake Bobo is covering me, I can get past him. I would say.
all right. Yeah, I got nothing. Like those are all the guys. I got nothing really to add. I mean, maybe Njoku or Taysom feels pretty.
You just
pretty
don't
good
listen to me at all, Kirk, huh?
No, I do listen to you. I'm saying like that. Those are the guys I like. I'm just saying. I'm reiterating what you said. Sorry, I didn't credit you, but
I like John.
I want the credit. It's a meritocracy in this country. I want the credit.
all right.
Any Johnny or AJ Barner?
AJ Barner's going to be played, but I'll give you the deep dive on him too.
Good matchup for Jono. Good roll too, pretty much. I mean,
I'll
he's
probably just
getting
play the chalk.
2,500.
Sean Preston and I talking about it in chat, but I think Shane Zylstra is an interesting option with Sam Laporta out for Detroit this week.
Yeah, you usually don't even listen to me, TJ.
Yeah, you're not listening to Kirk now. No one's.
Oh,
listening.
sorry. I didn't realize you brought it up. We've been talking about that one since the beginning. I
will
like
say he's not an intriguing option too, Shane Zylstra, for what it's worth.
Probably going to get a 0, but maybe could have a really big role. Been on IR for a long time, and
is he good? Is he good?
Well, he's been playing like he was playing the number 2 tight end role and getting a couple targets before he went on IR, and so who knows if he's good? But he's $2,500 and might be in the Laporta spot. We don't know for sure, but might be.
Which, to be fair, hasn't been anything this year, the Laporta spot, but
yeah.
But I'll throw AJ Barner out there as the pivot off of Davis Allen for like
Kirk, I just said that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Damn. Jeez.
No one's brought up David Njoku. Just kidding.
I'm gonna bring up Travis Kelce.
That's good. No one said him.
Did anyone bring up Taysom Hill? Because I like me some Taysom when in lineups that there's no Kamara.
I can't tell if this is a bit or.
Oh, TJ's not listening either. Chat, are you listening? Is the chat listening?
That was a bit.
People agree. They're like UFC time. I'm gonna be letting people.
Well, you are like 5 in a row, right, for UFC or something?
No, I lost last week. I gave the first loser, but it was a hell of a run. So it's what do we do now? We start another run.
Don't fade the flop lag here. Better get on Kirky UFC.
But we got to talk. Bobby, the people are saying, does Bobby give his defenses yet? So it's time to shine, my man.
It's the same defense every week. It feels like we're going with New England at 2,500.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, how low can you go is basically the story. But Titans are the lowest.
Titans are going to be chalky though, right?
So New England. So are you gonna play much Ramondre? I don't remember. No.
I like Lamondre. I'll give you another one. I like Minnesota, the Vikings. Let's go Minnesota versus Will Levis. What are they? 4%. We can play. I like Minnesota more than the Patriots.
TJ likes the Browns.
You could correlate Jameis with the Saints. Throw a pick 6, and then he's looking good the rest of the game.
He will throw a pick 6.
Well, what about the Jets against Richardson?
I swear they're not going to throw the ball.
Yeah, but he'll take sacks.
I think they might throw it more. I think they might.
He does his little. He'll do his little rollouts and get sacked.
Oh no, they wouldn't throw it. Yeah, you're right. They wouldn't.
Dude, if you can get up to the lines against Mac Jones,
yeah,
he's so bad.
I thought he was good, Noto. You wanted to play him last week.
Noto was imagine that last week. Typical. You just whatever happened last week is now what you think.
No, see, I come on the show. I listen. Unlike the other 3 of you on the show, I listen to you guys, and I didn't play him last week, so I untagged him after the show.
It's a good move.
That puts in my head. I've been doing all these early intervention classes with my son because he's got some issues, but it's all stop, look, and listen. Oh, they say over and over and over again. All right, let's build the team. build a squad. So we got. What did we say we were putting Pickens in, Bobby?
Pickens is in there, yeah. Pickens.
All right. And so obviously, are we going to play Russ or are we going to play Lamar, or are we just going to one-off them? You let's see if we can build a Lamar. Let's see if we can actually do it.
I think
you guys on board?
I think we
You guys on board?
can play Henry, and it's flipping the build at the running. It's like spending up for the different running back.
What if we played both the chalk tight ends?
Yeah.
Then you could do whatever with Lamar.
With Hunter and Henry and or which I know the
Allen
Davis
and
Allen.
Yeah, Knox or Henry would be good
Knox.
to get leverage off of Booty for not playing.
All right, we'll start with Russell Wilson to Pickens. So you want to do how much is Henry? This feels against the Steelers D. This feels I don't know. It is getting late. It's late in November, so 8,100. So that's the pivot off of the high end guys. All right, let's see if we can do that. This is Bob. This is on Bobby. It doesn't work. All right, another running back. We got to play H-Chan, right?
I don't know if we're gonna have the cash. Oh
Yeah, it's going to be tough. So we might be running this double tight end build.
Calvin Austin.
Let's see.
Russ
So
double stack.
man, we can fit everyone actually. I mean, so if we play like if we played like Tillman, but we'd have to since we're not that chalky with Henry, should we just put the Booty in?
And then yeah, instead of Henry,
No, we have Henry.
we'll swap out Henry. We don't want two.
Patriots. They're the 19th.
No. Hunter Henry. I'm sorry, I was like Derek Henry. No, we don't have it. We have Davis Allen in. We have the two we're gonna need the two chalky cheap guys.
We don't. We can use Calvin Austin.
Okay. Let me see. So a little double.
Yeah.
All right. Calvin. TJ, get in here and give us somebody.
Didn't you guys really like Sutton before? That'd be a good.
Yeah, I love Sutton.
So you got 4,900 for a flex and a defense. So basically any of them, these mid-tier receivers, or we go a little more expensive, but nice core there.
Actually, I got a whole lineup actually. Yeah. Well, okay, here. I've got two lineups. Option one, we can actually fit stud running backs. We can go, but it would have to be Breece Hall. So it would be Breece and Achane, and then our receivers would be Sutton, Pickens, Austin. We would have we would still have Derrick Henry. We would have a tight end to be named later and a defense to be named later. The cheap as you can go. Then the next build would be Russ Wilson with Derrick Henry and Achane. Russ to Pickens and Austin. Henry is the bring back. We can still fit Jacoby Myers and Cortland Sutton, and then we would probably pay a little bit more for a tight end and a little bit more for a defense. But those work. All right, we good? Let me pull up some UFC here. I'm not ready. Like I'm so far behind.
Is John Jones in this fight? Is that?
Yeah, he's fighting. He should win.
He's still good. I haven't watched.
Yeah, he's old for sure, but he's fighting another old guy too. The guy he's fighting is close to head chopper. But so my favorite play is going to be Damon Jackson against an old guy, Jim Miller, who's just too old, I think, at this point. So Damon Jackson is the UFC play of the week here for me. And yeah, take it. Let's win some money. All right. Any final words for the people, fellas?
No. Whoa.
Cool. Yeah. Let's give us a woo.
Woo!
Bobby.
Woo!
This has been the RG DFS Tournament Takes Podcast Week 11 edition. We'll be back next week for Week 12.